don't know if anyone saw this on Twitter, but Laurence Fox has started arguing with people again, just with random Twitter accounts with, 20k followers, whatever, just someone who like posts political content. He has got into an argument with someone called Mukhtar, who I follow, and I think he posts pretty good content on the timeline. Just said in response to Laurence Fox getting angry about black people making everything about them, apparently. Just said "fuck off, you racist prick" at him, and now he's threatening legal action because he doesn't know how defamation law works. Uh, because one of the defenses, you have the sincere belief that somebody is now basically get you off the hook, and with something as completely nebulous as being a racist, which is entirely subjective half of the time, regardless. How he can think he's going to be able to sue someone for defamation by just saying you're a racist? Like, come on, that's not how defamation law works. But anyway, you're going to need to have the below as your pinned tweet for 6 months. I apologize to Lotta Fox, my baseless defamation slur. I retract my statement fully and I apologize for any hurt caused. In fact, you look at Mukhtar's profile, I think he's pinned something even funnier now. I apologize to Laurence Fox's children for dragging their racist deadbeat dad. It's not their fault. He's a waste man. Which I think is very funny. But they've been at it the entire time. Hi, Laurence Fox, suck your mum. His mum is dead. She died during lockdown. He can cite. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! This is too much. Oh, it's still funny. It's Laurence Fox. At this point, I don't give a shit. I am beyond giving Laurence Fox any amount of civility or taking him with or give him any good faith at this point. There's nothing else that you can do other than just insult this man because he is the enemy. He is completely impervious to any kind of reason now that he's found his culture war grift train. Because Laurence Fox is like genuinely on the absolute fight. He's so cooked. He's so completely cooked. He's on the anti-vax train. He hates all the trans people. He's the furthest right of basically any political pundit, I think, in this country. So take from that what you will. That I do not think he is worth engaging with in good faith. And just random insults, go for it. Fully deserved dunking, indeed, Hanny Snow, 100%. The only scumbag I know over there is Casey Hopkins. That's a good question. Chat. What do people in chat think is worse? Katie Hopkins or Laurence Fox? Like, Laurence Fox is definitely more deranged and, of course, more divorced as well. But Katie Hopkins she said one thing way worse than anything that he said, was that Hopkins specifically said that there needs to be a final solution for the migrant crisis. So she's said some really worth stuff, but the amount of cultural influence that Laurence Fox has, and the amount to which actually he's obsessed with trans people in the way that Katie Hopkins isn't, I really do think that it's close. It's really close between the two of them. Let's just say they both fucking suck, because they do. I'll take that as a no then, me old Mukhtar. I hope you have that. I've been saving up your pocket money. And this actually takes us to a really serious point around the way in which the UK justice system and defamation system is set up specifically to protect rich people, right? You'll all have heard of the idea of a SLAPP lawsuit, which is a strategic lawsuit against public participation, which is essentially a way that rich people use to shut up anybody who criticizes them. And is what the rich people want. They want life to be paid to win. And that's what SLAPP lawsuits are. They will essentially be able to silence any genuine critics by making it so that even if they don't think they have any chance of winning the defamation lawsuit, if you outspend your opponent and they can't afford themselves legal defense, that's the way that you can shut people up out of court. You don't even have to go to court by threatening with defamation under the current SLAPP laws that we have in place. Because there are plenty of people who just are not rich enough to be able to actually take that battle to court. Jeremy Corbyn at the moment is having to crowdfund for the fact that even after winning his case, he's still stuck with £400,000 worth of legal fees because the amount of bogus lawsuits that were filed against him by people who are rich enough to try and shut him up. J.K. Rowling does this all the time. All of her middle-class rich turf friends will do this whenever. You call them transphobic, you essentially say their words back to them, and they'll accuse you of defamation, they will accuse you of libel, and they will threaten to take you to court. Because these are not, the working class grassroots movement they say they are. They're a bunch of fucking rich middle class people who will flaunt their wealth and use it specifically to attack the people that they know cannot afford to be able to fight their battle in court. It is genuinely the thing that is actually threatening free speech in this country. It's not people being disinvited to speak at universities. It's not having your account banned on Twitter. It's not about Facebook deleting your post because it contained the naughty word, right? It's not. It's literally the Jordan Peterson, up yours, woke moralists. I will not delete my tweet that violated the Twitter rules, right? Them essentially getting angry and having this whole fucking, it's not my free speech, when they're talking about applying to a private platform with its own individual terms of service that you may or may not break, right? What's a genuine threat to free speech is rich people using their money to shut people up who they don't like through the power of the state, through the power of the legal system, to try and ensure that people who don't have the money to be able to defend themselves cannot speak publicly without being threatened with court action. That's genuine free speech, which is an issue of the state intervening where it should not intervene. Using their money and the power of the state to shut up people who disagree with them. That is an oligarchy, what you're describing there. So SLAPP lawsuits really, actually, outside of, obviously it's funny, him saying, oh, suck your mum's dead, your grandmother, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's all funny, that's all banter, that's fun and games, right? But out of this, there's a genuine, really serious point to try and deal with this. And it involves, and Bilderberg is right to point out in chat, like defamation laws being used to suppress scientific reporting is another dangerous precedent that we have in this country. So if you really genuinely are one of these free speech absolutists, which Laurence Fox says that he is, he believes himself to be a free speech absolutist. This is why he set up a whole fucking party called the Reclaim Party, which says it fights for freedom of speech. And yet he is very happy to use our libel and defamation laws to silence people who disagree with him through the power of the state. Because again, it never was about free speech. It was never about free speech. It was the fact that these people were just having a paddy and a tantrum about the fact that people thought they were rude. That's it. That's it, right? They were rude. They want to upset as many people as possible, and they hate the people pushing back against them. And they hate the idea that there might be a social contract stopping them from doing so. That's it. Whereas when it comes to the state shutting people up, they have no principles whatsoever. Like me, I have principles on this stuff, in that I'm happy will defend people being disinvited from university because it's a freedom of association issue, not a freedom of speech issue. Yeah, I will still, to the hilt, defend people like, for example, Count Dankula for being, literally, Count Dankula went to court, only just about missed prison, but got a fine for the Nazi pug salute thing on YouTube or wherever it might have been, right? Tasteless? Yes. Do I think Count Dankula is a wanker? Yes. Do I think that the power of the state should be used against him for a joke that he made on YouTube? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. So the laws that we have around what you do at being, going to court, having the potential of jail time for things you say on Twitter, for example, outside of plenty of things you might otherwise have said that aren't genuine threats of violence or recruitment for terrorist activities, which falls outside of those bounds, right? You should never be taken to court for that kind of shit. That's nonsense. Complete nonsense. But the genuine threat to free speech here is the fact that rich people are allowed to shut up people who don't like them by outspending them. And that's how democracy works in this country now. You win by outspending your opponent. And this is the thing. That's all you have to do to be able to respond to this. You're a racist piece of shit. Get fucked, dickhead. So that's all you have to do. All you have to do. And he's continuing going on with it. You'll now need to claim a truth defense. No, he'll just a genuine belief that this man has against you. Because the fact that he doesn't even understand the defamation law that he's trying to be able to use to shut this person up, it really just shows you that there is no meritocracy. These people with loads of money, they aren't smarter or more talented or more gifted or at a higher position than meritocracy than anybody else. They are just people. They're just lucky. They're just lucky people. People who say the right things. The people in power want to give them money to continue to say, to be a mouthpiece for. And quite frankly, I appreciate that Mukhtar is sticking to his guns. Although I find it interesting, I'm not sure that they'll be able to claim who he says he is. You can't really go much further than just a slightly blurred picture of somebody and their first name to actually find them to be able to take them to a court. But amusingly, lots of Fox been inside this guy's DMs as well. And again, the correct response: "Suck your mum, you racist prick." So yeah, because this guy's done it before as well. In that this guy's already losing libel battles on his own terms. What makes him think he'll work again? What makes him think that it'll work again? Because again, it's not about winning the case. It's not about believing genuinely that you're being defamed. It's about shutting people up. It's about shutting people up and using your money to do so on the understanding that they will not be able to afford their own legal fees. It's as simple as that. Absolutely as simple as that. Response. But if you enjoyed this content, you can like and subscribe. You can support me by becoming a member on YouTube for just 99p, or subscribing on Twitch for $3.99, or for free with Twitch Prime, or by making bits messages with text-to-speech on. If you're watching this live, or later, you can drop me bits if you're watching this, or join on. I have a Patreon now. You can join on Patreon if you really want. Patreon.com/NoJusticeMTG. If you want to give me money in a other different way than my other platforms. But anyway, other than that, I will catch you on the next segment.